What is up, guys, and welcome back. We got another crazy cheating story for you guys. Long before the walleye cheaters, long before Jake Runyon and Chase Kaminsky decided to stuff over 8 pounds of lead down their walleye, there was somebody else who basically did the exact same thing. This happened at a bass tournament, and this is a ridiculous story. You guys are going to want to get the details to this one. Stay tuned. So this happened back in 2010. A man named Robbie Rose. Robbie Rose. That sounds like a movie character. It doesn't even sound like a real name. But yeah, Robbie Rose, guys. He wanted to be a professional bass angler. He tried to make it on the Bassmaster circuit. He didn't do too well. His best finish ever was 54th place. He only averaged $31.75 in winnings, and he actually won all of that at one tournament, which was $666.75. That was the only time he ever actually won any money between 1997 and 2004 on the Bassmaster circuit. So he decided to go back to fishing like amateur circuits because he could fare better. The competition wasn't as hard, but he still wanted to be known as someone who could win. He wanted to make a living as a bass fisherman, as many people do. A lot of guys who get serious in the fishing want to make it a full-time job, and it's tough. The competition's tough, and there really isn't that much money in the fishing industry. Like, even a lot of the top dogs do not make a lot of money. It's just fact. So it's hard to make it from fishing alone. But anyways, he began fishing the amateur circuits, and he did well. He did very well in the amateur circuits. He won a Bass Champs tournament at Cedar Creek, and his total in winnings was $120,000. So he was making way more money fishing the amateur circuits than he was the elite circuits. But other anglers were starting to ask a lot of questions because Robbie Rose just kept on winning, and for some reason he'd enter these team events, but he wouldn't fish with a co-angler. He would only fish by himself. And he was getting his limits in fish when other anglers who had co-anglers were struggling to even get their 5-fish limit. Some of these, sometimes you get a cold front coming through, sometimes fishing is just tough, and somehow he was always getting his limit. There was even complaints filed to the wildlife department, but no one was ever able to prove it, and they kind of just shook it off as like hearsay, and that, the losers were just, upset, and we're just being sore losers. So no one took it very seriously. But people were beginning to watch Robbie Rose, and were starting to watch him a little closer. And just, people talk, and they were just trying to make sure that he wasn't cheating. In a lot of these tournaments, they were implementing lie detectors, polygraphs, as they still do today. But as we know with the Chase Kaminsky and Jake Runyon, those aren't always accurate. Like, they were passing most of their polygraphs, as was Robbie Rose. He was able to pass almost all of his polygraphs. There was another tournament where he declined to fish it because they wanted to put an in-boat observer, and he declined it. He didn't want someone in the boat with him. So that was very suspicious. So people really started to watch old Robbie Rose. That was the Bass Champ series. He left that series because they started to do the on-boat observers and went to a different circuit. In this other circuit, the BLT Lake Ray Hubbard Big Bass Tourney, Rose submitted the biggest fish of the hour. He was ushered off to take a polygraph, and this is where things got very, very strange. As Rose was led away, the tournament director was looking at his fish, which I believe weighed over 10 pounds. So an absolute freaking monster of a bass, guys. Over a 10-pound fish. If you catch a 10-pound bass in a tournament, you're probably gonna win. Like, that is huge fish. If you have a decent bag and your kicker's a 10-pounder, holy crap. There's not many places where you're gonna lose with that. Which is why this is so freaking weird, which makes me wonder if he was even catching these fish, like where he was fishing, because this just gets wild, guys. So anyway, when they led him away, the tournament director noticed like a lump in his fish, and it was just odd. They weren't sure what was going on, but they kind of just shrugged it off, figured the fish ate something weird, and they put it in the holding tank. So they have like this huge display tank, like where you can actually see the fish, and just so the crowd and stuff can get hyped up and they can see the fish swimming around. Well, when they put his bass in the tank, it sank like a freaking bag of bricks and just was like pinned to the bottom. So this set off all kind of freaking red flags with the tournament director and the other anglers. They knew something was up. So they actually interrupted Rose during his polygraph and confronted him with the fact that his fish was acting weird. Rose acted like completely shocked, acted like he had no idea what was going on. So the tournament director told him there was definitely something going on with this fish. They believed that he had stuffed something in the fish to make it heavier.
We got weights and fish!
There we go!
Rose denied, but then the tournament director said he was going to cut the fish open if he didn't have a better way to get whatever object was in the fish out. Once the tournament director said that, Rose immediately grabbed the fish and squeezed the fish basically from its tail all the way to its mouth, and a 1 pound lead weight came out of the fish's mouth. 1 pound, guys. He put a 1 pound weight in a 9 pound something bass, because it weighed over 10 pounds with the weight. So it was like a 9 pounder. Why would you even do that? Why would you even need to do that? 9 pound fish, and you're going to add a 1 pound weight to it? That's unreal. Apparently Rose just handed the fish and the weight to the tournament director, and then he left, and that was it. He didn't deny anything. He just left. Now, one thing I do want to say, I'm not defending this guy at all. Like, what he did was wrong. He's a cheater. But at least he had enough respect for the fish to know that when they were going to cut it open, he might as well save the fish's life. So he did do that. He didn't deny it. At least he apologized. You know, Jake Runyon just kind of sat there when everyone was coming at him and just froze up and just didn't handle it as well as this guy, I guess, in the situation. Like, I'm not defending him, but I don't know. You guys know what I'm trying to say. So the grand prize in this tournament was a $55,000 boat. What's really crazy is that the tournament director stated that even without the 1 pound weight, that Rose would have won the tournament, would have won the grand prize. So yeah, he would have won the $55,000 boat regardless, guys. But I wonder if he caught the fish. Who knows? The fish might have been his. It might have been from his farm pond. Like, once someone cheats, you don't know how. Like, where does it end? Like, if you're gonna do this to cheat, why wouldn't you also do something else? So why a pound? I can't believe he put a pound. Like, if he would have just put a couple ounces, he probably would have got away with it. But why would you even do that for a 9 pound fish, guys? That is, it's ridiculous. It's like he wanted to be caught almost. So here's where this kind of coincides with what's going on with these walleye cheaters, because he was arrested and charged with attempted theft of more than 20,000 but less than 100,000, which is a felony. So that's what he was charged with. So yeah, guys, he was actually sentenced to 5 years probation and 15 days in jail. So 5 years probation, that's kind of lengthy. 15 days in jail, that's not that big of a deal. I don't see that he was fined or anything like that. But yeah, guys, it's pretty crazy. It's crazy what people will do to cheat. And this guy didn't even need to cheat. A lot of people are saying that the walleye cheaters didn't need to cheat too, but like, you just don't. If someone's willing to break one rule, they've probably broken more than just that one rule. So you don't really know where it ends. This is a pretty crazy story. Comment below. Let me know what you think about this. Do you have a little more respect for this guy because he managed to save the bass? They were going to cut the bass open. The walleye guys seemed like they were actually making sure that their fish were dead, probably so that they could just shove the ridiculous amount of weight that they were down them, because they were going to die, and like that, they didn't want them spitting them up. Like, who knows? They seemed like they were like making sure that all their fish were dead at the weigh-in, which I think, you know, those other anglers and tournament directors thought was a little suspicious, because all their fish were always dead. This guy actually cared enough for the fish to want to not let it die, but then you're still shoving that freaking 1 pound of weight down its stomach, though. Like, that is unreal. Like, I don't even know how you where do you even get a 1 pound weight? Like, was it it doesn't specify like what kind of weight it was. Like, are there 1 pound sinkers? He might have made it himself. Unreal, guys. There's so many freaking cheaters out there, and it makes you really wonder how many people get away with this stuff and never get caught. But alright, guys, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you next time.